What's up, guys? It's StarCraft time. Rifkin and Zombie, I'm coming at you today with some 2v2 action. Although I'm fully aware that the hand gestures I just made may be a little bit rude over in Europa. We're going to be swapping things up a little bit just so before we do our intros here, before we say our hellos. We had originally planned to do Goblin and Starkiller versus, I think it was, who was he playing against? I don't remember, but point was we had to swap the matches around because Starkiller is not currently available. If he's unable to show up and play, we'll first give Goblin a disqualification, so he'll lose his first series, and if he still can't get a partner, then we'll have him replace with somebody. But to be honest, I'm hoping he just shows up and saves us the headache, because I didn't think this would be a problem. Here we go. So yeah, it was BCQD Inertio versus Goblin and Starkiller, but that's just been swapped around for now, so we'll do Lillekanin and Knight versus Damaja and Bratok first. So there, everyone knows what's going on. But anyways, hello and welcome to the 2v2 Ariel Cup. We got about $1,000 and hopefully a little more than that. Wow, a donation to kick off our day. Nice. I'll get to the message in just a sec. We got about $1,000 or more possibly available for this cup. So if you guys don't know, if you haven't read on the screen down below, the code TIPPY will add $1 to the prize pool via Matcherino. So thank you guys and hello in advance, I guess. But anyways, Zombie Grub, how are you?
What's up?
I'm
all right. How are you?
I am doing just dandy. I do wish, though, actually, I have to apologize to people again. So here's the deal, guys. Some of you, Castiana and a couple others, you might not be listening right now, but maybe you'll see the VOD later. I owe you guys gifts to be sent out in the mail. I have a whole bag of like 4 posters and like 3 packages I still have to send out for my mom's cancer fundraiser thing. A lot of people have actually already received theirs in the United States, which is good, but it makes me feel even worse about the fact that these haven't been sent out. So there has been 2 days. There has been exactly 2 days since I mailed out everything the first time where it hasn't been raining, and on those 2 days I needed to sleep. And by the time I was awake, post office was closed. So first off, apologies on this being delayed as long as it is, because it means it's going to be delayed even further getting to you because of the postage. But I've arranged with my dad, so sometime next week, if it is still raining, he'll come pick me up and we'll go to the post office together. Because this isn't a lazy thing. Like, I don't have a car, I don't drive, and this is like, I don't want these packages getting soaking wet on the way to the post office and ruining for you guys. So this is one of those, in my mind, better late than ruined. I don't know, hopefully you guys who are going to be missing prizes and gifts and whatnot are okay with that, but that's just the public update on what's going on. Anyways, they'll be doing videos here in a sec, or they're already doing videos. It's best of 3, all this good stuff. And who was that donation that came in to kick our day off? Hard Revenge, $2 says, all right guys, this is the coup de grace, the big kahuna, the 6 feet unders, the Salvation Army Day. Yeah, Beastie and Inertio, I think I got a pretty good chance of winning this group, but we'll see how it goes. Also, thank you Perkstream for the 34-month resub. Really glad to have you back. Man, I've talked about, like, yesterday I'm all like proud of our sub count still staying above 1,000, but we're actually getting to that point where maybe that's not going to be so true. Yesterday's stream, we ended with like 1,150 subscribers. We're down 50. We're at 1,097 now.
See.
I really hope this is Christmas blues and like we didn't piss people off without me being aware of it, but yeah, hopefully things will pick up. We got a really big league coming up. The announcement of that should be sooner than later, and hopefully our subscribers will continue to subscribe as time goes on. But 2v2 Cup, GSL style groups, I don't know, you want to make any predictions of what teams getting through?
Well, I think I gotta say BCQD Inertio and actually, Damaga and Bratok were stronger than I gave them credit for last time, so let's say them. And then Harsima Laser and Optimus Thermal.
Oh, for the other group? Okay. Oh yeah, I guess today's labeled as Group A, but it's technically Group B. But we're doing it first, so it's become A in essence. I was just talking about today's groups, but I guess if we're going to go for both days' groups, yeah, my guesses are BCQD and Inertio for sure. Like, they won the last 2v2 tournament, so they got a big favoritism getting through this. Damaga and Bratok, I'm like 50-50 on. I don't know anything about Lillekanin's partner Knight, and that's what makes that team a wild card for me. Because Damaga and Bratok are pretty good, but Lillekanin actually very much specializes in 2v2s, and we've seen some cool tactics specifically catered to 2v2s before. So maybe we'll see some of that here. I don't know. They're a bit of a wild card for me, but I think I agree with you. DIMAGA Bratok and BCQD Inertio for today's group. And then if I had to take a stab at tomorrow's, I really want Hearthstone and Laser, obviously, but also be really cool if Denver and Clem got through, just because I love those kids.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I looked at that and I was like, maybe, but whereas DIMAGA and Bratok like did better than I expected, Denver and Clem did worse than I expected. So that's why I chose other guys.
Well, hopefully Vito's will finish up shortly. The map pool is a little bit different and a little bit odd. For those who don't know, it's Flooded City, Overgrown Facility, Shrines of Lazul, Trader's Exile, Cactus Valley. No, we swapped that out. That's right. Misty Swamp, Black Site, and I was looking at the Matcherino. Oh no, we kept Cactus Valley. Okay, I think it was the 3v3 map or something we swapped out.
So you swapped it out for the groups from the qualifiers?
No, it's gonna be the same pool.
So Cactus Valley is definitely not in it then.
No, we kept Cactus, didn't we? Everyone was just vetoing it?
No. Like, we had to, they said Cactus Valley, and I was like, wait, that's not in the map pool. You guys changed that one. If I could find the bracket
now I gotta go
link.
look this up.
Yeah, so it's in the bracket link, but it's Sludge City, Flooded City, Overgrown Facility, Misty Swamp, Shrines of Lazul, Black Site, and Trader's Exile. Whew.
There you go.
There you go.
There's a challenge page, okay. As they say, because I remember we had some weird maps. So for those who don't know, by the way, we should mention this too before we get too far into today. You'll see him in chat probably from time to time. Carefree Rogue. Hang on, there's a plane going by. Carefree Rogue, aka Brian. He's the one who started the Ariel Cup before. He put a majority of the prize pool in for this. We put in another 300. Matcherino put in 200. That's like $1,000 in prizing. But yeah, he has chosen to pick some odd maps, some interesting maps. This actually ended up causing a bit of controversy, so a couple were changed, obviously, but now we got a more regular pool. Of course, I guess us saying map names, there's gonna be nothing to a lot of you. Like, a lot of you know Ascension Ire because you see 1,000 games played on Ascension Ire, but most of you are probably like, what the hell is a Shrine of Lazul? Who the hell is Lazul? So don't worry too much on it. We'll just rock and roll through the games. You can enjoy the maps as we play them out. But Brian also has, so this is the greatest and weirdest sponsor request for shout out stuff, right? He's not trying to advertise a company. He's not trying to tell you go buy a product. He wants you to do one of two things. One is consider, not even like, hey, you have to, but consider checking him out on social media. You can find him on Instagram. I'm gonna actually link his Instagram here in chat. But also, he just really wants to emphasize the importance of pet adoption. I can actually verify this. I don't know if it's the same category, but like Millie, Ace Kate, cat you guys know I love, she was actually rescued. So she wasn't like a bred and bought cat. I know Zombie Grubs had quite a few cats in a similar manner. So pet adoption, pet rescuing, it's all good stuff. Make sure you guys do it, especially if you're gonna get a brand new little kitty.
Yes, yeah, do that instead of shopping around. Okay, so I guess there's some confusion in multiple manners, but now we got things going. Sludge City. Oh, that's one of the ones I have to manually search.
All right, so we got the maps. It's Sludge City, Overgrown Facility, then Black Site. Gonna host this up here in just a moment. Big thank you to Texas is gone, by the way, 4 months. Good to see you, man. And Nate Dog 828, thank you for the 4 months as well. Thanks for content. Well, you make me content with that. Thanks.
Oh, good one. Oh boy, why so difficult inviting 4 people?
By the way, just to be clear, guys, I should probably change the title because it is technically Group B. But anyways, yeah, it's Group A that's playing out tomorrow. It's Group B that's playing out today. BCQD, Inertio, Goblin, Starkiller, Lillekanin, Knight, and DIMAGA Bratok. This first match of the day is Knight and Lillekanin. Knight, again, the wild card player we don't know much about other than he's Lillekanin's 2v2 partner for years now. North American Zerg, or I think it was. And Bratok and DIMAGA we know. In fact, actually, just looking at the portraits in the lobby, let me swap over here briefly so the game loads anyways. A little bit daunting. You got DIMAGA Grandmaster League rocking that border. Nice and good looking. Bratok as well, Masters, and Knight's just unranked. Feels bad, man.
I guess I haven't been on the European server since we last did it, so Overlays are correct, and just need players to be ready. And we can start.
So remember, these are all best of threes happening today, folks. This could be really fast. This could be really bad and long. I don't know. We've seen 7-minute 2v2 matches. We've seen 27-minute 2v2 matches. It's a bit of a wild card because nothing here really applies to the regular rules of StarCraft 2.
Yeah, not quite.
Thank you, Dares. 16 months for that Prime. Salvation Army. Dude, everyone's hyped for Beastie Inertio, and I can't blame him. Beastie Inertio, I think, won everyone's hearts in the last 2v2 tournament.
It was funny, but I think some of these guys really got a great shot. Of course, 2 people, 2 teams, 4 people. There you go. We'll be out of this group. Advance on to, I guess, the finals day, whenever that is.
By the way, good luck, have fun. If you want us to coordinate team colors, I'll tell you now, it's probably not going to happen. Also, Bitboss appears to be broken. Okay, I'll look into fixing that, so just ignore this for now, guys. Yeah, the bottom side of the map, it's going to be the 2v2 pros combination of the Blue Zerg, Knight, and his ally, Lillekanin.
In the top left corner of the map, it is the Red Terran Bratok and the Teal Zerg Damaja.
It's been a while, of course, since we had our qualifiers play out. For those who don't recall the way the format for this went, we actually invited several teams based on our previous 2v2 tournaments, and that in this case was Lillekanin and Knight, or more specifically Lillekanin plus a partner. So we don't know much about Knight, and I keep bringing this up, but it is kind of cool having a wild card player, someone we don't really know how it's going to go. We'll see if he carries, if he weighs it down. But Sludge City's an interesting map too. This is something where we do have golds for expansions for both players as your default.
Yes, as a default. There's another base that's technically inside your high ground, I suppose, for your base. That's normal, but obviously a little bit closer to your opponents. We do see in TVZ, I guess, it's truly a mirror matchup here. A lot of aggression with Hellions and Lings. I mean, in 2v2s, you're going to have just aggression kind of be the name of the game, especially if there's any chance you can attack one player but not the other, which some maps are better for, some maps are worse for. This one, I'd say that it does happen often enough. Like, one player has to defend, and the other player has to kind of be like, well, you buy time, you do you. Bratok could potentially survive by taking the gold base, but then have to leave Damaja, for instance, to die because their players... Well, they can't wall. But no one's being aggressive yet. Even though both Terran... Oh no, Braddock's going for 1 base. Lillekanin's going for 2.
There is a funny dynamic that we cannot track and we cannot highlight to show to you guys, but we'll see if it ends up happening today, by the way. Where 1 base scenarios mean a little bit less in 2v2s than they do in 1v1s, and a lot of that has to do with the fact that you can trade resources back and forth. Like Damaja delaying, Bratok delaying is not the end of the world when Damaja can throw him a couple $100 from that beautiful gold he took nice and early.
Yeah. That was confusing for me. I thought that was Braddock's Reaper.
Yeah, the Lings, it's like, oh no, the Lings are getting in the base. Yeah. Oh no, divas are down. Oh no.
That was awfully confusing, but no, that was just Lillekanin poking forward. I mean, he saw that the production facilities were faster than his. I guess by a little bit. Command center is a little bit faster than Braddock's, but since they both are going for bases, I mean, there wasn't a 12 pool, there wasn't a, I don't know, proxies anywhere. There we go. Proxies, I guess, exist with Terran as well. They might think that they have a shot defending, but finally we have some Lings on the way. Started by Damaja. Looks like Knight's going to get some roaches, but just enough Lings to really cover.
This is where I really like the dynamic of the matchup, where it is Terran and Zerg versus Terran and Zerg. Hellions are actually king to both sides of this. Those Hellions will deal with the Zerg player, those Hellions will deal with the other Terran players' Hellions. Like, there's a lot of cool potential set up for this, but unfortunately, Knight not ready to assist. Okay, here comes the Lings on the backside. If he gets rid of the Hellions, that'd be great here for Lillekanin, but Lillekanin's having trouble dealing with the Lings. Damaja comes in with too many Zerglings too, and this might already be over.
I think that it is. Lillekanin tried to get this really awesome position where he was the one in charge of the choke, but it very much so backfired. He had to leave the choke to run away from the Lings, and he still got surrounded anyways, meaning Knight's Lings were really quite useless. His Roach is just a little bit late to help out. too much damage has already been done.
Yeah, down to 8 workers. Doesn't feel good here for Lillekanin. Production's going to hold up, but this is where we start seeing if that ally mineral trading is good enough. Because Lillekanin's going to need a few bucks to fix this situation.
Yeah, it really is sucky because Bratok and Damaja are not on low economies. They're roughly around the same economy when that attack happened, both thinking the same thing. Lillekanin just a bit faster the command center, but that's not helping him. It's not like a third CC already ready to go. And in fact, Damaja and Bratok aren't done. The roaches will eventually take care of the Hellions, but they have to chase them. Same with the Lynx.
This is where you need that hashtag Rifkin wall right here at the front on the ramp, right? Get your ally mad at you, but then realize it's actually amazing.
Yeah.
So you agree tentatively.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I think it should be broken eventually. But Bratok, speaking of being broken, I suppose, is adapting to seeing roaches, getting to better mech products, I was going to say. But units is usually what you say.
If this was just the Zerg to deal with, the roach counterattack from Knight's actually so good it might even win the game. We've seen instances before too where Lillekanin has specifically fed his allies so they could go mass roaches. That was back in the day with Dana, of course. Unfortunately though, with a couple of tanks and their own roaches, I just don't see these numbers being enough. There's a lot of roaches. I mean, look at the army supply, guys. There's a lot on the field here for Knight. That's the best thing is going for him, but every second that goes by, that economy out of our northern team is going to let them power through that number game.
You know, second tank pops up. The Lynx probably should have gone directly to the tanks, but they're getting some pretty nice damage on top of the roaches and the Ravagers, specifically. More Lynx come in, and they certainly are complicating things, but it is just the Zerg player here. Lillekanin's getting like one Hellion to try and help. So even if they lose a base, the Mog at the very least, his reinforcements coming out of plenty, should be able to clean this up. Oh, there you go.
A really stark criticism there was A, not having 3 corrosive biles for the attack, and B, not using them on the tanks. He threw those on the roaches. I think if you remove Braddock's tanks, I mean, this one tank got 10 kills on it alone. The other one probably about the same before it died. These 2 tanks went full beast mode hard counter.
Yeah. Agreed. And Lillekanin, I mean, hoping that took a long time. Maybe was hoping to rebuild the SCVs, but down to 6, I think it was, or something extremely, extremely low. Even with the amount of time there, he's only double that, which is not impressive. And Bratok and Damaja are looking for the final push.
Yeah, none of his own tanks. There's no chance of getting that sweet counter. This is looking pretty grim here.
It is.
Let's just game one. Called the warm up. There's the tap out. GG's. It's late, but there you go. All right, Bratok and Damaja taking game 1. I'm trying to remember. I know Damaja is Ukrainian, right? Is Bratok Russian or also Ukrainian?
I thought Bratok was Russian, but
I think he's Russian too.
Would I really know? I wouldn't really know.
Hang on, Google Bratok. Yes, he too. Ah, damn, he is. I was hoping to just call them both Ukrainian players, but doesn't work.
Darn rats.
All right, well, also noting for those who don't know, I've told the players they are totally allowed to stream their own matches should they'd want to. I know Beastie and Urchi are going to be streaming theirs. I think Damaga is streaming right now as well. I might even be doing a little bit of casting. I was like unsure on the translation for that because he kind of asked if he could observe the games that he wasn't playing. I don't know if that just means he could hang out or if he wanted to cast it. But either way, there's a lot of streams to check out for today other than just ours. But oh my goodness, we have a lot of viewers. Is that front page time? That is some spoiled brat front page time. Hello, Twitch front page. Welcome to the rare time anyone ever does a 2v2 StarCraft tournament. Most notably too, when there's a lot of money on the line, up to $1,000. The current prize pool is $826, but if you guys go to the Match Arena website and use the promo code TIPPY, you can add $1 to the prize pool and it won't cost you anything. Bump that shit up.
Why is it Tippy?
For reasons I don't think he wants to make public, but it was selected by our sponsor.
Okay. I mean, it's either a cute way of saying tip, or it's like the name of a pet, because I know that my grandma had a dog named Tippy that's still alive. It's like 17 years old.
Actually, that reminds me, we talked about this yesterday. If you guys don't know, there's a subreddit called Tippy Taps, and you absolutely must check it out. It is the most freaking adorable thing ever.
Yeah.
Anyways, we're getting into game number 2 in this first best of 3. To the lower left side, of course, we have the guys down in this series. Combination of Knight and his ally, Lillekanin.
On the right side of the map, it is the blue Terran Bratok and his teammates, the red Zerg Damaja.
Man, I'm about to just start banning the word Protec from chat, guys. Dude has never showed up for a single 2v2 tournament in years, and everyone always comes in asking us, where's Protec? Or where's Protec? When really, you should be going to him and asking, why aren't you flying in the tournament? I'm like, pulling my hair out, like, ah!
I'm a little confused whenever it appears, because years ago I knew the guy, and I could understand, you know, even after all the things that happened and his fall from grace, shall we say, I can understand people still, like, you know, bringing him up, but it's been like years, I feel like at least 2, probably more like 3 or 4, where I thought he was really the talk of the town for his 2v2 performance. I don't notice him streaming anymore, or maybe just my eyes just glaze over or something, I don't know.
Nah, it sucks. Actually, I used to be a big Protec fan. Back in the day, it was 4GG, Protec, Dragon, right? Those are the streamers I would watch for StarCraft 2. But then I kind of a bit blind to the toxicity associated with him, and it was finally, I think he started like just attacking allies in games and stuff. I was like, okay, I'm done with this guy.
Yeah.
So not much, unfortunately for me at least, I don't have a lot of respect for him. Talks a lot of smack and doesn't ever show up to put up.
Well, yeah, I just, I'm always surprised when people are very gung-ho about it.
I will say this though, it's a little bit, speaking of just like regular 2v2ers, Lillekanin for years would only stream 2v2 on his, like he would play 1v1 tournaments, we'd see him in Corsair Cups, but he would only really stream 2v2s for a while. Now obviously that's changed in the last year or so, and if you guys watch Lillekanin, you know it's not the case, but this was a guy who was at a time heralded as one of the best 2v2 players in Europe. Now, that might just be because the best players are playing 1v1, they're not playing 2v2. There's a lot of arguments to be made. But the one thing I've seen out of Lillekanin over years, whether it's through 2v2s or 1v1s, the guy's crafty, he's kind of a genius, and he knows how to adapt pretty well. My thing for this isn't, again, like so much, will he be okay to play? It was that question of Knight. And what we saw in that first game, I think, was an okay strategy out of the two. Like, Knight deciding to go for roaches made sense, but the timing got them killed. I wonder if that was due to, like, for them, would scouting have made that better? Would he have not gone for roaches? Or is that just Knight doing something that's a standard build that works in only one situation? And basically, will we see it again?
Well, I think Knight did everything correctly. I mean, it's absolutely a question of who is this guy, and is he bringing Lillekanin down, or is he at his level, or is he lifting him up even? You know, we don't know what they're talking about or what Lillekanin, I guess, really thinks of him. He's not been like, oh, Knight's the best player ever, like, I gotta have him on my team. But I would say he did everything kind of right last game. It was actually Lillekanin that did something wrong. As soon as they saw that they were under attack, I think what went through Lillekanin's head was, well, I can block this off, take an efficient trade, and then we'll have a good lead. When really, as we saw, he should have said, up to the main base, lift my main natural command center, wait for my ally to have roaches, and then we'll be okay. That was actually the difference of life or death, I think. Like, yeah, I would have lost 8 SCV or something at the gold base, but I do, like, fully and entirely blame that one moment of the game, which is harsh, but true, I think.
Well, this one hopefully won't go as bad, but Knight jumps out a little bit ahead of Lillekanin there, so he takes some Hellion Blast. Bunker's meant to help out a little bit. Good positioning here for the defensive team as they do clean up those lings and now push this back. If they get a surround of these Hellions, that'll be a big lead.
It might eventually happen. I mean, with only 3 Hellions, it might be worth these lings to chase, but 5 no longer. Obviously, Damaja still has his own lanes coming out here too, and they really are just looking for, like, who gets, like, the slightly better trade, because I don't think they're going to be breaking the setup that Lillekanin has. Like, it's just one bunker, but it is also defender's advantage, so I think combined it is just a little bit too much. But you're oohing at Knight's choice to go for a Spire. That's a dangerous one. Damaja going for the much safer path of roaches.
I like the idea for the Spire, because if it is going to be continued mech out of Bratok, you know that there's not going to be a lot of anti-air conventionally, and that is for me why I go, ooh, it's like a cool idea. But execution, again, like, okay, maybe 1v1 you don't have the anti-air, but this is a game 2v2, your ally might have your back. Either way, combination Liberators and Spire produces some mutas. There doesn't look like there's gonna be a good way to clean either of these up if they get across the map.
It is such a risk to do it, but it is oftentimes worth the risk, in 2v2 especially, and even with the most recent changes in mutas in 1v1, or how they work, rather. in 1v1. I think they are still rather useful if you can get to them. As you cover, yeah, your ally can cover your weaknesses, and I think there's also an assumption, and a good one at that Damaja will go for roaches, the safer way to play 2v2 Roach Hydra, and that Bratok will go for mech, which is what he did last game. Both of which fast and surprise mutas are going to do really well against.
Overseer gets pushed off. It doesn't actually see the mutas.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't even have the Zelnaga, Bratok and Damaja, their own Zelnaga, so that wasn't even a possibility, but mutas were on the left side. It's a huge, complete surprise. Only a couple of Cyclones.
Oh,
and
those get surrounded pretty quick.
Yeah, it's surrounded.
That was the only real anti-air. There's two of them in the backside, of course, but that's not going to take on all of these. They might take on one or maybe two, but certainly not all of these. Snowballing out of control with the Hellion support on top, and there's so many Hellions going to run through and kill those SCVs, even if the mutas don't get a chance to. And Damaja's kind of left with, like, what can I do but really maybe counter. He can't clean this up at the main. He knows it too. His best bet's to try and draw them back home, but I don't think he can.
I gotta imagine the production of the Knight and Lillekanin will be enough. Damaja and Bratok, I think they're gonna have to tap out. I mean, this was such a surprise. They didn't really consider the possibility, maybe. They also couldn't really scout anything was up because the third base that Knight would have taken would have been out of their field of vision without an Overlord, and Damaja didn't have one there.
Bradok's armory comes down in an attempt to get maybe a Thor out, but unfortunately he's got no money, so he can't do that. And even one Thor's not going to cut it versus the mutas. Following this up with the Banshees is kind of dirty. Holds the front line too with the Lings and Hellions, not even needing the bunker.
Yeah, this is at that point where maybe Damaja's like, I'll try and buy you some time, and then when that failed, he's probably saying, okay, Bratok, just like die very slowly. Maybe make some units that can be key, helpful tools like Widow Mines. Although, oh wait, well, no, Widow Mines are revealed now.
But the scan, even with that was a good shot with the Widow Mine too, but even then, not enough to follow through as the Cyclones are picked up. And Damaja finally has some Hydras out, but even these might not be enough. That's such a small amount of them. The mutas might just be able to kill these. In fact, they probably will.
Yep. Yeah, even injured as they are going to take the fight. Now, Damaja is still on 3 bases, so, okay, definitely a mistake from him to show Hydras in still too low of a count, but he can try and play this out 1v2 for a little while longer, but Lillekanin, he might have committed a couple of Hellions to help this push initially, has been just macroing like a beast. Double upgrades, 4th CC, lots of mech production there.
So Damaja had 3 bases, and then Lillekanin lit it up. Jones get fried alive.
Oh, Bratok is slowly dying. Instead, I think the useful units that you can get in the situation were Widow Mines. You could place them around the map and hope they never got Overseers, but now they reveal themselves, so they're not nearly as dangerous. Consistently dangerous, anyways.
It's the Widow Mines are cheap. I can understand the logic of trying to stick in it because you got maybe some possible production. He's not going to command center, but at this point, Braddock's better off just sending Damaja every. Well, actually, not even. Damaga's not spending his money. What's he? Was he Larva served there for a bit? I guess. Yeah, no Larva to work with. So there are 1,500 minerals for quite some time.
Yeah, I mean, maybe that makes sense. He never got a macro hatchery, or he just was missing some queen injects because there's so much going on. But there is an attempt to drag mutas into another Widow Mine, but there's nothing to follow that up. So one muta dies, that's it. And then it's revealed. Don't need no Overseer, don't need to scan either.
That was the last SCV as well, so no chance for Bratok to do anything but produce, I guess, what little he has off these depots and stuff. Oh, but this is mean.
Give me money to start +1 armor. I swear to God, it'll help.
Oh, forget that. Give me gas. I can swing more Widow Mines. This is probably over, but Damaja, I mean, credit where it's due. He's got a really big army supply. What Lillekanin and Knight went for initially was a little bit cheesy because it was stuck on 2 bases, but they've since both gotten to 3 and now possibly 4. I mean, they're no longer in trouble.
Now, the only way that Damaja is going to win this game is, let's see here, combination of Fungals and Blinding Clouds. Fungals for the mutas and the Banelings that Knight's making, and then Blinding Clouds. Oh, that was nice.
Get a couple more of those in.
For Lillekanin's mech, and assuming that he's really gonna like screw up and stack 20 tanks on each other.
I love that he has to pull the Widow Mines back to run away, by the way, because of course they are revealed after shooting.
Yeah.
Oh, this is kind of a scumbag move, though. This might end up killing more drones than anything else. I'm a little bit worried about that.
Well, Lillekanin is not in position to help his buddy's third base. That might just be forfeit, but at the cost of Damaga's army.
This is all in for Damaga, because you're not pulling this army back, that's for damn sure. Bailey's come in to deal with the Hydras, running right past the Roaches, gets to the heart of the Hydras! That's
okay.
gonna be a bit much. Blue Flame on top of these mutas, or underneath the mutas technically. That's game. No way. GG. Right. So Lillekanin and Knight, they bring it back. They tie things up 1-1, and in our first best of 3 today, we have a tied series. So we're gonna quickly dip to a commercial break. Before we get back, though, I urge you guys to consider checking out the Matcherino page. We actually had some hardcore donations come in through 47ist, throwing 20 bucks in to say busy day, half a good cast, and Laser SEQ, as always, throwing a couple bucks, 5 there into the prize pool. If you guys do want to support the prize pool, by the way, the best way to do it is through Matcherino. Don't donate to the channel. If you want to give us bits, that's cool. But if you want to donate dollars, put it towards the Matcherino. Otherwise, use the codes. They're free, and we'll see you in 2 minutes. Thanks for watching.
Look at the sky, the sun won't ask for what if it can rise. Look at your mind and ask yourself what keeps you trapped inside. Look at the lies that follow you when you run and hide. Look at the sky, the sun won't ask, the sun won't ask the world if it can rise. Look at the sky, the sun won't ask for what if it can rise.
All right, folks, we're back. It's Black Site for the last map in the series, as things are tied up 1-1. If you guys don't know the structure of this, there's a winner's match, a loser's match. It's double elimination. You'll see all these guys play at least twice today, and even some of them 3 times. But we're going to get into the map here. Also, I was talking to the guy sponsoring the event, Brian, during the break. Remember, this is just like a super passionate StarCraft fan. There's no big corporate sponsor for this one. But the reason, so he says okay to tell people publicly, I guess. The reason the promo code is Tippy is it's in memory of a friend's dog who passed away.
Huh.
So there you go.
Sweet.
That's the promo code. But speaking of promo codes, guys, we actually have like a frickin' ton. So really, really, cash in those dollar bills. Thank you, Lone Wolf, for the bits. And also, Mr. Boris Makarov throwing 25 bucks into the prize pool. Nice stuff. Also, Mr. Boris Makarov, it's been about a minute. I hope you've been well, dude. Speaking of the devil, 2,000 Bailey's bust on in thanks to him. Wow, thanks for missing my sub. Oh, did I? Shit. Mr. Boris Makarov reset for 43 months in a row. Thank you very much for that long-time support, dude, from our head moderator. Anyways, we're getting into game number 3. Spawning here to the top left in this very odd map, we have the Green Terran Lillekanin and his ally, Knight.
In the bottom right, it's the orange Terran Bratok, and the red Zerg Damaga.
Yeah, Black Site is one of the 3v3 maps that were actually injected into the map pool. So it's a little bit awkward because not only do you have the extra bases on this side, you also have a whole extra entrance way. But generally it chokes down to this one spot here, so it shouldn't really be that big of a factor. And in fact, if you want to break it down even further, there's 2 tiny chokes to get into the base.
Yeah, it is really... So, I know we played on this map 3v3. I don't know if the 2v2 tournament has played on it yet. I want to say it was in someone's choices, but we didn't get to it. Like, it ended 2-0 or something.
Yeah, it's hard because I play enough team games that this meshes with my mind. I'm not sure if I've played this or we've seen it, but... I kind of remember like having to swap the 3v3 to 2v2. Well, I guess the point is I don't remember what happened in that game, but I can tell you that without that third person and the fact that you know, you do spawn, I guess, always with one in the back, like it's kind of hard. And 2 Zerg, of course, it's hard to get the wall offs. Like, there are going to be entrances into the base that you can't cover immediately. Lillekanin's trying. As someone in chat says perfectly, this map is Choke City, because whether you're coming down the middle of the map or the outside of the base, as I just pointed out, there's lots of chokes on this map. This is where I feel like the Terran players on each team are going to have a chance to carry. Whether it's through Liberators, sealing off gaps, setting up siege tanks. Like, the Zerg have a lot of power, don't get me wrong, I'm not dismissing them, but I think the Terran have the greatest chance to abuse those chokes here on Black Site.
Well, it will flip, I think, especially if both of our Terrans once again go for mech, which they seem to really enjoy. It'll flip when Vipers appear. Getting caught in a choke with Blinding Cloud, even if it's like a long line of tanks, is still very unideal. So we'll see if it even gets that late. Of course, a lot of these games have been at least really decided by like 8 minutes.
Well, on top of the odd 3v3 aspect of the map and the extra bases, it is a long map, so even if they were rushing, it would be difficult to pull off. So it looks like all the players are just opting to expand for now, which is perfectly fine. Also, good chunk of bits coming in from Carefree Rogue. That is Brian, the guy we keep referencing in chat, guys. He says, thank you to all the viewers for showing interest in 2v2, and thanks to BaseTradeTV for being so amazing. Oh, you...
well, you know, Damaja might be looking for some revenge. I mean, the fast mutas, the fast spire, was not expected. It wasn't like something that they really prioritized scouting. They kind of got to the front of the naturals and said, that's enough, but that clearly wasn't. Damaja might have thought that was a great idea, especially on a map that is so large and so unlikely that you're going to get super pressured. A Reaper Scout's a third hatchery even from Night already, and Damaja, well, should be feeling pretty good about his spire chances.
That's what's so interesting about this, though. Like, in 1v1, if you don't scout, it's like a hard counter sometimes. It's just game over. Nothing you can do about it. In 2v2s, it's not as harsh, but still, as we witnessed in Game 2, can be very problematic and can still snowball. Either way, while he might be hoping to get to Aspire, I don't know that Bratok can buy him enough time to get that running. There's already Hellions and Lynx on the way, and a lot of them at that. Yeah,
I mean, it was a super long map, and they scouted the third base, but Knight didn't use the third base to drone. It is right now just a macro larva hatchery. Of course, even if there was a wall off and it wasn't, Project Hellions there, there's the other entrance right into Damaga's natural base. Doesn't see the spire, but we'll do a lot of damage with the drone line, perhaps.
A lot of Zerglings, though, for Damaja. I think he might be able to hold this. If he gets a surround on those Hellions, especially, and can hold them in place, I mean, that's so many Zerglings. Braddock's doing a pretty good job with the micro, too. He's focusing on the Lynx and not the Hellions, so he washes those off, and they take the initial fight.
Ooh, this is very dangerous. Bratok is on his way to Blue Flame, and Damaja has a spire that wasn't scouted.
Wait, was that really not scouted through that? You're right. Oh man, they did see the layer and the gases, so that might be a little suspicious, but not enough. They're either going so hard and hoping to kill this before Spire's done, or they just have no idea. Either way, Damaja's not going to need that many Mutalisks, and Blue Flame is going to carry hard. The bonus damage these Hellions get, guys, like for example, 19 versus 14 on the other side.
Lillekanin will have no options. He doesn't have engineering, but he doesn't even have an armor yet for Thor. These mutas are popping out in very large numbers, but
I don't think he's. They're not going to need the mutas at this rate. This is going really well for the bottom team.
Yeah, I mean, Blue Flame hitting is I guess it is better than 4 Hellions at a time, 3 Hellions with Blue Flame. Haven't had to have TVT Hellion wars in a damn long time.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't actually remember. I don't remember when the meta was Hellion versus Hellions. Maybe when Well, actually, no, I do, of course, when Hellbat drops or a thing. But
That and yeah, because those mech days were just Hellion Viking and that's it, nothing else. Like,
yeah, that would have been it. But anyways, Cyclones are on the way. So like a Thor is sturdier and has still a maybe even better anti-air, especially if those Cyclones are low count.
Well,
Cyclones will make a lot faster, and you can micro them away from the mutas.
yeah, as I say, mobility might be what's key here. A Thor could be magic box on, for example. But while this goes on, they're not pulling back to defend these mutas. Obviously, they can't. They're gonna go full bore with the attack. But oh, watch face first into Blue Flame Aliens.
Yeah, and a conkin to a concave. Engineering base desperately going down. Even two of them, as I can see, forgot he had already made one, or realized that it wasn't going to be the one to finish. One of them's going to finish. That seems to be for sure, but he's still got to make missile turrets. Knight could be building spore crawlers, at the very least, and it looks like he already has.
Lock-on's only got like a 4-second cooldown. I think they're so busy microing elsewhere. It's not going to matter. GG. Bratok and Damaja will take the 2-1. Moving on to the winner's match here in the group. But before we get to the winner's match, we have the other series to cast. It's going to be Inertio and Beastie Cutie, the favorites probably of the tournament, I would say, versus Star Killer and Goblin. There's a cool dynamic to this too. For those who didn't follow the qualifiers for this, the placement in the qualifiers determined who got to pick which of the invited teams they could face. Like Damaga and Bratok just now, they picked Lillekanin. They said, look, this looks like the easier match. Like, yeah, we're gonna take them first. I was surprised though, because I think that if I recall, these guys ended up being like last place in the qualifier, Goblin and Starkiller, so they didn't get priority picks. But this was their first pick. Nobody else picked this team, so maybe they have something special up their sleeve for Inertio and Beastie Cutie. I don't know.
Oh my god, they really not have vetoes done.
It's a meme, but I'm actually like thinking we may have to impose some tournament rules for future events where like if you can't do your vetoes in a reasonable time, you will be assigned a map. Because
yeah.
You guys are hearing us make jokes, but during the qualifiers we were taking like 20-minute downtime periods because that's how long it took them to make maps and figure out vetoes. So we'll give them a few minutes now. Like, I'm not freaking out yet, but it is just that like, okay, it's these guys, like Blacksmith Camo 1000 base trade bits. Dude, I thought you're not supposed to be able to do bits anymore, my friend. I'm not gonna complain, but thank you for the 1,000 banlings. I just don't want you breaking your own bank. Also, as we spam the new emotes, of course, Ace 1 and Ace 2 were recently touched up, if you haven't seen. But most importantly, there's now an Ace 3 that we're going to be using for raids in the future. And I really like the way it looks when you spam all of them together. So be sure to have those locked and loaded for the end of stream today, as we will be always raiding somebody, usually when we're done. In the meanwhile, we still have plenty of codes available. Somebody in chat was asking before that last game, I'm sorry, I don't remember your name, where can I use the code Tippy? So yeah, quick note, guys, Tippy, I guess homage to a friend's dead dog. The whole message of the tournament is consider pet adoption. Look at rescuing pets over just straight up like going to breeders and stuff. And Tippy's a totally appropriate code to be using. So if you go to Matcherino or type !Matcherino in chat, you'll be brought to the tournament page. If you log in with your Twitch ID, you can then just simply type in the code Tippy and it'll add $1 for free. You won't have to actually use any money. You won't have to provide any of your payment information. It's just the code. That's it. Porridge Lord, I'm not sure if that's a good or bad thing. I'm like 50-50 on porridge. But thank you for the Prime sub. I feel like just straight porridge is so gross. But like brown sugar mixed in, put a couple of like, I don't know, literally anything else in there. It's so good.
It's like any other breakfast grain. I like porridge, oatmeal, grits. Like you gotta have something else in it to really, really be good.
I'm still convinced that this whole grits thing is just like a big troll that you're pulling off on me, and like I'm finally like 3 years from now gonna be like, all right, grits are not too bad for breakfast at like a big dinner meeting or something, and people will be like, what the fuck are you talking about? Nobody eats grits for breakfast. I would be so embarrassed.
As silly as that is, I am also kind of on board with a potential breakfast conspiracy. There are just too many breakfast grains. I listed 3, and there's also like hominy or whatever the hell that is, and there's like I'm sure plenty more, and I'm like, why are there so many breakfast grains? Why not just have like 3 main ones? No one eats the other thing I mentioned, or rice. Who eats quinoa? Honestly, hipsters. Rice
Well-
covers everything.
I do like me some rice. Gibby 301, thank you for the 2-month subs. How's that Summoners War game coming in? I miss it, dude. I have not played it in a very long time. They scammed me. They didn't restore my account after I got hacked. A big sad ending to that story. But whatever, move on. But thank you for the 2-month resub. And then Nephrom actually just slaughtered the Bit Boss after everyone wore him down with a $6 donation. He just says smiley face. So thank you, as we are now at 800% of our daily goal. Doing great.
Nice.
Sir G-Force as well, throwing some bits in too. Takes that mace out and swings. Why does it take longer to get from first to second base than it does from second to third base? Because there's a short stop in between.
Ha!
Alright guys, they're still figuring out their vetoes. We're gonna go to a quick commercial break. Thank you kindly for sticking with us, and we'll see you in a few minutes.